Okay, in this piece, I really want to talk about my top tip for refinancing if you're a portfolio landlord. So, who does this top tip? Who is it for? Who's it going to benefit? Well, first of all, I want to talk about the time when you come to the end of your deal. So, this is for people who have usually had a fixed rate. It's about to come to the end of that fixed rate period, and you're looking to refinance onto the next best deal. But so here are some of the conditions or the caveats. I'm only talking about you portfolio landlords where the buy-to-let mortgage is in personal name. So this does not apply if you've got a buy-to-let in limited company. The second thing is that I'm talking about you landlords where you've got 10 or more buy-to-lets. Now, let me explain why. So when you are looking to refinance your buy-to-let mortgage, the lenders you can approach tend to fall into one of two camps. You've got your high street banks and building societies. Now, this is where, generally speaking, the best rates sit. But as you probably know, for reasons we ain't going to get into, the high street banks and building societies do not like portfolio landlords. And they have explicitly within their rules that says that if the background properties, if the buy-to-lets you have in your portfolio exceed 4, certainly, but by the time you get to 10, then every single high street bank and building society will not want to consider an application for you. So therefore, your only option as a portfolio landlord with 10 or more properties is to go to the secondary specialist market. Your Aldermoors, your Precise, your Paragons, Kent, Fleece, Kensington. You get my point. But here's the thing. There's an exception. And it's the exception I want to talk about today. Now, the exception to the rule is, as I've got in my fourth bullet point, if you are borrowing on a pound for pound basis. So let me just briefly explain if that appears to be jargon to you. You're coming to the end of the deal. You owe £100,000 on your buy-to-let mortgage, and you are not looking to raise any more money. You're not looking to consolidate debts. You're not looking to raise any capital. You're not looking to access any of your equity. You simply want the best rate, the most competitive rate for you on the existing £100,000 borrowing. That is known as pound for pound borrowing. So this is the exception, that there are a small number of high street banks who will entertain an application from a landlord who has got more than 10 buy-to-lets, but only when they're doing pound for pound borrowing. Now, here's the thing why I'm really wanting to highlight it this morning, is that if you are using a mortgage consultant, a broker that does not deal in buy-to-lets on a regular basis, I'm going to lift the lid a little here. It's not a secret as such, but this is the process that us brokers go through to make our life a little bit easier. We use a sourcing system. So it's a database whereby we put your details into this database to do some of the heavy lifting for us. In other words, there's thousands and thousands of potential buy-to-let mortgages out there. So if we put into this sourcing system that you're looking to refinance your £100,000 buy-to-let mortgage, and we would say that you have 10 or more buy-to-lets in the background, the sourcing system is not clever enough to understand the exception to the rule. It goes off the general rule that you would not be eligible for the high street banks and building societies. Therefore, the only list of lenders it shows are the secondary specialist market lenders. And if you're a broker that is not that finely tuned into the rules of buy-to-let lending, you will look at this list, and therefore that broker will be only recommending products to you from the secondary mortgage market, and will miss out on this exception to the rule that I've just highlighted. And as I said, not only are there slightly better rates generally found with the high street bank, but what I also tend to see is that the high street guys will offer other benefits. They will nearly always offer free valuation. They will nearly always offer free solicitors. And that's unusual to get in the specialist secondary market. You're quite often not only paying slightly more on the rate, but it's not unusual to having to pay a valuation fee or at least the solicitor's fees. So it's my top tip today to speak to a specialist broker when it comes to you landlords where you've got 10 or more properties, because otherwise you may well be missing out. If you want to have a chat with the team on any of this, there'll be a link to our online diary system. Book yourself in, have a chat, see whether you might be eligible for one of these high street products, and get saving some money.